how's it going? It's me, the
Name and address withheld.
And if you recognize this room, then you know what we're in for today. How do I get out of here? So if it wasn't obvious from the lack of horror content on this channel, I am not too keen on the genre. When it comes to gaming, I just suck at horror games in general. You'll certainly never see a Five Nights at Freddy's video on this channel for that exact reason alone. Well, apart from that one where I played the game Sister Location with my friend Will. Now movies, on the other hand, that's where I get my horror fixins. But even then, I lean more into horror comedies rather than outright horror. Now you might be asking yourself why my preferences are the way they are, and simply put, when it comes to horror, I'm very much a coward and scare laughably easy. Like, I'm the kind of person that would shit a brick, like an actual concrete brick, from someone just jumping out at me. They don't even need to make a noise, they just gotta jump out. Don't even have to say boo. Combine this newfound knowledge with some of the creatures on this video's thumbnail, and to that I say, how dare you make such accusations about me? But also, you're right. Kind of. Well, yes, today I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with some old school Screamer videos. I'm also going to be telling some stories that range from understandable why I'm scared about X thing, that range to why in the world were you scared by that? So in other words, yes, this is a generic Screamer video, but you're gonna hear about other stupid stuff that scared me, as well as like one life story. So that said, strap in folks, because I'm about to give you a whole heap of material to make fun of me with. So what is it that you think scared me as a child around the age of 4? Strangers? Clowns? The boogeyman? Nope. The thing that scared me the most as a 4-year-old was the Moo Can THX trailer. Not the normal one that traumatized my entire generation, as well as people before it. The Moo Can variant. I can't make this shit up. When I was a wee lad, the only thing that actually had this specific version of the THX trailer, which, yeah, I found out a long time ago, these are not called logos. For THX specifically, these are called trailers. Figured I'd point that out before I gave some poor logo kid an aneurysm. The only thing I had as a kid, and actually I think this applies today as well, that actually had this THX trailer was my DVD copy of Monsters Incorporated, which nowadays is actually my VHS copy, as the DVD I have was the somewhat recent reprint. I don't know what year it came out, but it's the reprint that changed like everything about it.
Who the fuck is Healer?
I legitimately do not understand why either, considering what scared everyone else about the THX logo was the iconic deep note. It might have been the part where the logo shakes with the sound of a stampede getting closer, but actually, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Also, yeah, if you didn't believe me earlier when I said it was a lot of stupid shit that scared me, I think this showed you, like, definitively. And side note, actually, something not relating to this video topic at all, there are variants of this variant. Like, I think there's like 5 separate versions of this, one of which was advertising of all things monster cables. They even zoom in on the HDMI. Like I mentioned earlier, this is probably the stupidest thing in the video I got scared by, although I don't know, I think the next thing might qualify as being the stupidest thing. Yes, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie video game. That's never gonna not be a mouthful, is it? So, this game was pretty rushed, if it wasn't obvious at times. As a result, there are quite a number of glitches, and I do mean quite a number. Some of these glitches can get pretty outrageous. If you want to know how outrageous, well, go watch some speedruns of the game. One of these speedrun tactics actually involves a glitch that legitimately traumatized me as a child, because I had never seen anything like it in my life. Do also keep in mind, this game was legitimately my first ever video game, so on top of never seeing anything like it, I'd also never seen a game glitch before. Legit did not know about the world -1 glitch in the original Mario, until I was like 13, because at the time I was just not interested in Mario. When I was around 5, maybe 6 years old, I was playing my copy of the SpongeBob movie game on my not-so-glorious OG Xbox, and I was in the level 3,000 miles to Shell City. And in this level, I ended up finding one of these glitches on my own. Being the absolute dumb child I was, I attempted to jump for the rednecks that were making fun of you during the river area. And I inevitably fell in the goo. However, to my shock, I did not die. Instead, it looked like I was in the goo, completely unharmed. Then I realized I could go under it, and that's when I found the void. At the time, I didn't know this was simply just a result of the game not having a sky dome and melding each frame to essentially create one. Like a dope, I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking and fell into said void. After that, I went into panic mode and didn't even think about warping back using the pause menu. So I just kept falling until Hans eventually grabbed me and put me back at a checkpoint. Now every time I see a glitch like it, I get uncomfortable and my anxiety goes through the roof. However, this strangely only applies to when I myself am playing the game. If I'm watching footage of someone doing it, it's nothing. Alright, I guess it's time for that life story I mentioned earlier. I hate stinger bugs. Just all of them. It doesn't matter how helpful they are for the environment, I hate them. If I see one out in nature, I will run away like my life depends on it. If I see them in my house, I hunt them down and make sure they suffer a fate worse than death. Unless it's a bee, because my track record with them versus other stinger bugs is actually relatively good. All of this attitude towards stinger bugs because when I was 6, I dared to commit the truly atrocious crime of waiting for my grandpa to come back from work. I used to live in Iowa, specifically a trailer park in Iowa. Well, one day in this trailer park, I had just gotten back home from school, and I was standing at the door waiting for my grandpa to come back home from work, and I didn't think to just look out the window. Anyways, somehow a red wasp had managed to find his way into the house. For the record, I did not do anything to provoke it. I literally stood still like a statue at that door. However, my mere existence was enough of a crime for this damn wasp. And, of course, it stung me. So yeah, I don't care how helpful these creatures are for the world. If it has a stinger, it is automatically an enemy. Again, the exception is bees, because from my experience, bees haven't really gone after me, despite being right up next to them. I think the only exception was also, oddly enough, when I was 6. Meanwhile, where I live right now, wasps are out for my fucking blood every summer. Alright, now for the real meat of the video. We've officially crossed over into the threshold of things that I was pretty reasonably scared of, unless we're counting that wasp story. However, I'd actually argue there's a very specific reason why this particular topic should not have scared me. I'll explain more later. So there's this video of a little girl doing some ballet. The video as a whole has some really strange vibes to it. Dark, yet warm lighting. Big-ass CRT in the front, with the screen on, showing nothing but static. The way it's shot, you don't know exactly what you should be looking at. The girl in the background, or the TV. The girl then dances off camera and BAM! Melting bloody demon girl with them big ol' anime eyes? A triangular head? Okay, don't get me wrong here, I still think this video and the demon is creepy as hell, but I think the more I look at her, the more I think she looks like a forbidden pepperoni pizza. Thanks, Toby.
Is she covered in pepperoni? Is this like the Pizza Girl monster? Domino's presents Pizza Girl monster.
So, why do I berate myself for getting scared by what I do legitimately unironically think is a really creepy video? Well, when I was called into my folks' room to watch the video, the pop-up portion was already on screen, which means I 100% knew what was going to happen. In fact, this was the third time I had been called in this room to watch a video like this, and I still fell for it. Interestingly, this video's been making some rounds in more recent times, and that might be due to someone I mentioned earlier, a YouTuber by the name of Toby Pasta. He started a $100 bounty to find the creator of the original video. For you see, all of the uploads we have access to nowadays are actually low-quality re-uploads of a now lost original video. On top of that, the backstory of the video is entirely unknown. Now, normally this would mean nothing. Screamers are just made to scare folk. However, screamers of this variety, where they have some actual effort and production value put into it, there is almost always an origin behind it. Yet, so far, this one doesn't have one. There was a story saying it was a mother and daughter recording some commercial for a ballet club. However, there was no proof of this. This was one of two videos that lived rent-free in my head, and to this day, it sends chills down my spine when I am not watching it in a comedic light. I am almost certain all of you know what Kathy is by this point. If you're not, I'd recommend watching the documentary by Rice Lapsley. A legitimately damn good watch. However, I will give you a quick little TLDR for the sake of this video. In 2004 through 5, there was a German drink company called Kathy. Their main product was coffee-flavored energy drink. It would appear their last campaign didn't exactly work out too well. Although, to be fair, I don't exactly understand how coffee-flavored energy drinks had to do with, of all things, Jesus and Judas at the Last Supper. Their next campaign was one called Ever Been So Wide Awake. And if you didn't know anything about this company before watching this video, I can almost guarantee that you have most certainly seen this video of the car going down a hill and this zombie here, played by actor Brad Johnson, jumping out at the end. This video is actually not one of the topics of today's video that scared me as a child. And don't get me wrong, I've been bamboozled by Brad here quite a number of times, but it was never the original video. You see, there were 9 commercials like these, and 4 radio ads that ended in screamers, as well as 3 light commercials that took 3 of the previous commercials and replaced them with joke jump scares, one of which was doing a purposefully bad job at hiding. So out of these, 16 commercials, which is the one that got me? Well, it was actually one featuring the other ghoul, the Gargoyle, played by Brad's brother, Adam Johnson. Oh wait, excuse me. According to various wikis, he's actually a bat boy. So the Bat Gargoyle appears in 4 of these 9 television commercials, with him Frenching the camera in one of them. What is happening here? The one that got me was Beach. It features a couple about to kiss, and then Adam jump scares you at the end. However, when I was first shown this video, I remember it much differently. I do remember this video still taking place on a beach, and the music being a beautiful piano piece, and it also being at the sunset. And for the most part, that's where the similarities end. I remembered everything else completely differently. Firstly, I don't remember there being a couple. I do remember a father playing with his child. Secondly, I don't remember Adam the Bat Gargoyle. Rather, I remember a teddy bear with his head on fire, showing a human skull underneath the flames. Ironic how I remembered it being a teddy bear, considering the joke version of this video is a guy dressed up as a teddy bear. I actually watched this one before the ballerina video. However, much unlike that one, I was never really haunted by this one. Probably because I remember it being so different. On top of that, at the time, I still had one other Screamer video still on my mind. And I'd argue this next topic is what made me so sensitive to horror stuff in general. This was the one single Screamer video that gave me my first bit of internet trauma. It was a video about this guy. As a kid, I wasn't really that big of a fan of Michael Jackson's music. Hell, it wasn't sometime until the late 2010s where I actually went out of my way to listen to some of his music. And honestly, I kind of regret waiting so long. Stranger in Moscow and Black and White are some of my favorite songs. And obviously beforehand, I had very much listened to Thriller every Halloween season. However, there was a period of time where I didn't do that because of this damn video. There was a video claiming to show Michael Jackson's ghost being caught live on camera during a CNN tour of Neverland Ranch. I remember nearly everything about the night I watched this video, despite this happening when I was 8, and despite the fact that I can't even remember the exact details of my dinner from 2 days ago. I remember everyone being called into my stepfather's room to watch this video. I was legit invested in the video and was ignoring all the warning signs, because, simply put, this was my first video like this. I didn't know what those warning signs were. The video was short, it had creepy build-up music, and even had a spot where it was zooming out of the focus point, and then out of nowhere pops up a zombified Michael Jackson. But unlike other Screamer videos where they simply appear from the sides or top or bottom,
Hello.
he straight up lunges towards you. It scared me so bad that I just broke down crying. As an apology, my stepbrother, who was actually the one who had the idea to bring everyone in the room to watch, told me that me and him could do whatever I wanted for the rest of the night. So, we played the original Lego Batman on his Xbox 360 until I got tired. Up until that point, videos have never truly scared me. While yes, I brought up earlier how stupid shit like the THX Moo Can trailer scared me as a kid, it was more like it unnerved me. This video, on the other hand, was the first time something on video actually legit scared me and traumatized me. I'd never seen anything like it, despite being on YouTube for quite a few years beforehand. All the more reason to keep your kids off of YouTube, I guess. And hey, speaking of keeping your kids off of YouTube, yeah, I went there. However, there's one thing I never see anybody talk about when it comes to this classic Screamer. The creepiness of the video was not added for the Screamer. You see, the Screamer came out a single day after another video dropped, and this prior video was the exact same video, minus the text intro and the jump scare ending, meaning someone took this video and slapped on a jump scare, knowing fully well that the topic of Michael Jackson's ghost at the time was really popular. That right there is pure evil. And pretty clearly, it worked, because I don't see anybody talking about the original Screamerless version anymore. Oh, and I guess as for me not wanting to listen to Thriller for several years of my life, I don't know if most uploads have this nowadays due to how, I'm pretty sure, worse copyright is getting. But a majority of uploads back in the day would have Thriller at the end of the video. This video has made it to where if I'm watching reactions to videos like this, if the video itself is on screen, I either have to cover it with File Explorer, or I hide in the comments. The video becomes a podcast episode because I'm too afraid to watch the video, all due to a poorly cropped image of Michael Jackson's face from Thriller on a stock image of a black cloak, or at least I think it's stock. I don't know, I don't have incentive to go find out. And with that, that's all I got for today. I know it's a short video, but come on, like I'm gonna have the energy to make behemoths like Legacy of BFBB every video? Are you kidding me? Well, I'm kind of curious. What are some things that scared you guys as kids? I'm more specifically aiming for stupid stuff that only scared you. Of course, I'll take, you know, generic stuff like screamers too. It's always nice knowing what video sent someone down the rabbit hole I went down. I'm sorry if you got scared earlier with that one edit, but in the topic of today's video, honestly, you should have expected it, and I never once told you that I wasn't going to jump scare you. I never said that. So with that being said, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic Halloween, assuming this video is up by then. And with that, take care. Hey, hold on now, I nearly forgot to mention the Patreon in today's video. If you would like early access to everything I post on this channel, as well as early access to my art, and even some split up art assets, you can find all that in the link below. If you just want the early art, it's $1. If you want everything else, it's $2. Take care, everybody.